A very good afternoon. This is Lunchtime News on TV1. For the News First team, I am Rochelle Tumodara. Let's now take a look at your stories that made headlines this afternoon.
2 anesthesia drugs that were subject to controversy removed from use. 33 deaths due to dengue reported in 2023. Zambia reaches key milestone in debt restructuring talks. Daily railway operations at risk owing to shortage of resources. Paddy purchasing for the yellow season begins.
Now on to our top story this afternoon. The Health Ministry has announced that 2 anesthetic drugs that were the subject of much controversy have been removed from use.
Additional Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Dr. Saman Ratnayaka, noted that measures have been taken to import another anesthesia drug. He further noted that the stock of medicine is expected to be imported to the island tomorrow.
One of the 2 drugs is registered under the National Medicines Regulatory Authority. However, there was an issue with the other drug, where a patient did not regain consciousness after being administered it. As a result, we immediately removed both drugs from usage and sent samples of them to labs operated by the NMRA and several other labs. We are expecting to receive another stock of drugs tomorrow to help resolve the shortage of anesthesia drugs.
The attention of health authorities was focused on 2 anesthetic drugs after several women who underwent surgeries later died following the use of these drugs.
The death toll from dengue has increased to 33. The National Dengue Control Unit said that 52,021 dengue cases were identified within the country during the year. 25,945 cases were reported from the Western Province, which was the highest number of cases reported. The National Dengue Control Unit says a special 3-day mosquito eradication program will be carried out from tomorrow, focusing on the 61 MOH divisions where dengue risk is high. A solution to the human-elephant conflict in Sri Lanka is still far from being found. An individual was killed by a wild elephant in Dakunu Kadavara village attached to the Vadivava Grama Seva division in Hambantota.
Our correspondent noted that the victim was attacked by the wild elephant when returning home after a visit to his paddy field. The victim was identified as G. Somapala, aged 58. He was a resident of the Dakunu Kadavara village in Vadivava. A 70-year-old woman from Malvila village in Valikada Polanaruwa died after being attacked by a wild elephant that had entered the village from the Somavati reserve. Our correspondent noted the woman, who was a mother of 3, was attacked while she was near her home. Villagers have complained that wild elephants from the Somavati reserve have been damaging their crops and have also attacked people in the past. The people in many villages, including Kandalama in Tamulla, have been suffering due to wild elephants. The elephants often attack the village at night, destroying crops and property. Although there is an electric fence around the villagers allege that it is not operational. The villagers are requesting for a solution.
Procurement of paddy in the yellow season has begun. Chairman of the Paddy Cultivation Board Buddhika Idamalgoda said that paddy procurement has commenced in the districts of Ratnapura, Hambantota, Monaragala, Patikloa and Kilinochi. He stated that 500 million rupees have been allocated for this purpose. He said according to the instructions of the Minister of Agriculture, under the first step the board has commenced the purchase of red nadu. In addition, the chairman further said that they will purchase a kilo of samba for 100 rupees and a kilo of kiri samba for 110 rupees. Farmers in many areas are inconvenienced owing to the absence of a proper price. Paddy harvesting is ongoing these days in Ampara Uhana area, but farmers point out that there is no proper price for their harvest even though they conduct farming at high cost.
While paddy farmers lament the lack of a proper price for paddy, tea farmers in the central province voiced their concerns at the new tea factory auditorium in Giragama. Heads of the Sri Lanka Tea Board and tea growers of central province were also present in this discussion.
Tea planters have been left helpless. They are demanding at least 2 bundles of chemical fertilizers at a reasonable price. The situation has turned for the worse for the tea industry, and small-scale tea estate owners are feeling helpless. The only way to overcome this by using fertilizer. The tea plants have turned yellow. All we ask now is how this situation was created.
Now on to more local news. Views were expressed on the eggs imported from India during a media briefing organized by the Canteen Owners Association of Sri Lanka in Colombo yesterday.
The egg is not even 30 grams in size. If this egg is priced at 52 rupees, then it is legitimate for large eggs to be sold at 60 rupees. This egg was released to the market with great fanfare. However, the label of this egg was erased before it was dispatched to the market. This is the label. It says that this egg is from India. They erased this label and released the egg to the market for 52 rupees. The Consumer Affairs Authority will not be able to identify where this egg is from. This is deceiving the people of the country.
Zambia's overseas bondholders have entered into non-disclosure agreements with the government as of Wednesday. According to three sources, a key step marking the beginning of formal restructuring talks of over $3 billion of international bonds.
The move comes after Africa's second biggest copper producer clinched a deal with bilateral creditors such as China and the Paris Club to rework about $6.3 billion of debt in June, a development that sent a signal that other pending national debt restructuring such as Ghana and Sri Lanka could also get on track. One of the sources said, quote, "We first need to see Zambia's updated macroeconomic package, which is in part why we have to get restricted," end quote. Two sources added, quote, "There will be a restriction period of 2 weeks with the option to extend it if both sides agree," end quote. Zambia has three outstanding dollar bonds maturing in 2022, 2024 and 2027, trading between 52 to 57 cents on the dollar. On the 31st of August 2023, the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund gave Zambia the necessary approval to provide an extended credit facility of $1.3 billion.
The railway authorities say, owing to the shortage of locomotives and power sets, operating trains as per the normal schedule have been hampered.
Railway authorities pointed out that 74 engines and 193 power sets are required for daily train operations. However, the authorities stated that only 58 locomotives and 162 power sets are operational. The number of locomotives to be repaired is 15. The railway authorities said that 31 power sets have also been taken out of the service for repairs. News First inquired about the measures that can be taken in this regard from the Railway Traffic Superintendent M.J. Indipulage. He said that spare parts required to repair the engines and power units are currently being imported.
The National Transport Commission says that special raids have commenced to monitor the buses that are carrying passengers without a license. Its Director General Dr. Nilan Miranda said that 4 teams have been deployed for the purpose. Recently, following the accident that occurred when a bus overturned from the Polonnaruwa Manapitiya Kotaliya bridge, attention was again gravitated towards buses. 10 people died and over 40 people were injured in this incident.
State Minister of Finance Srihan Semasinghe expressed the following views on the Aswasama Welfare Benefit Scheme.
As of now, we have received 968,000 appeals and 17,500 objections. The Divisional Secretariat also has objections and appeals that have not yet been added to the system. Of the 968,000 appeals received, 635,000 were received to change their category. Disability benefits have been provided for 72,000 people. And another 23,000 people are on the waiting list. Kidney benefits are being provided for 39,150 people, and another 10,000 people are on the waiting list. We have identified another 50,000 people who are eligible for the Aswasama benefit, and the government will take measures to provide them with the benefit.
Chairman of the UNP, Vajra Bevartana, says the public should not be skeptical about the Aswasama Welfare Benefit Scheme.
You do not need to be concerned about the Aswasama Welfare Benefit. Those who are eligible will receive the benefits, and those who have submitted appeals and are found eligible will also receive the benefits. The President has informed that they will receive the benefits along with the balance. Once the country recovers from the crisis by the end of September, Sri Lanka will embark on a new journey. That journey should be travelled for 10 years. The public should understand this.
While concerns over the Aswasuma welfare benefit scheme continue to remain, a discourse has arisen on the special parliamentary committee appointed to probe Sri Lanka's bankruptcy. Professor Charita Herath of the Freedom People's Congress expressed the following views.
The acceptance of the responsibility of the parliament was further undermined. I don't understand why they are doing this by putting a group with weight on one side and forming a committee. This is really a problem that our government has had since 2019. If the government does not realize that these committees are rejected by the people, they are still in great danger. The ignorance was one of the reasons for the fall of government in 2019. The government fell mainly due to the economic crisis, but the political dialogue with the country's society was also carried out in a very stupid way. After failing into such a hole, if the government sets up such parliamentary committees, they will still be mocked by the people. If the government still has the old idea that the people do not understand anything about society and will listen to anything they say, they will be made fun of.
Chairman of Lanka Satosha Pasadeyapabbe Wardana clarified the facts on restructuring the entity during a media briefing in Colombo today.
What will happen is not restructuring of Lanka Satosha, rather Satosha. Lanka Satosha is what is engaging in businesses all these years. Cooperative Wholesale Corporation hold the assets. So restructuring is conducted by the Cooperative Wholesale Corporation. There will not be any adverse effects to Lanka Satosha. Our intention is to provide the best for the people, the organization and the staff members.
News first with the people.
Now on to more news. According to the Met Department, the wind speed may increase from 45 to 50 kilometers per hour in coastal areas from Hambantota to Pothuwil and from Puttlam to Kankasanthuri through Mannar. Weather forecast indicates that the seas may be temporarily rough during thunderstorms. The Department of Meteorology said that several spells of light showers will occur in western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces in Kandy, Nuwara, Galle and Matara districts. Sri Lanka and the state of Goiás in Brazil have held discussions to further expand political and commercial partnerships.
A meeting was held between Sri Lanka's ambassador to Brazil, Sumit Dissanayake, and the mayor of Goiás, Rogerio Cruz, and senior officials from the state of Goiás in Brazil to further expand political and commercial partnerships between Sri Lanka and the state of Goiás in Brazil. The meeting was held during an official visit that was made by the Sri Lankan ambassador to Brazil, Sumit Dissanayake. The mayor of Goiás accepted Ambassador Dissanayake's proposal to enter into a sister city project between Municipal Council of Goiás and a leading municipal council in Sri Lanka.
Now on to international news. South Korea and Japan have said that North Korea has fired a possible ballistic missile.
Seoul's Joint Chief of Staff said on Wednesday North Korea fired an unidentified ballistic missile. The launch was also detected by Japanese Coast Guard and Defense Ministry. Japan's Coast Guard and Defense Ministry also detected the weapon, with the Coast Guard saying it flew about 550 kilometers and landed just outside Japan's exclusive economic zone. Both countries later reported the missile was believed to be an ICBM, a long-range missile that can traverse continents.
Ukraine's military said that Russia launched a wave of kamikaze drone attacks on Kyiv and its region for a second night in a row, hours before President Zelensky was due to meet NATO leaders at a summit that has backed Ukraine's independence.
According to preliminary information from Ukrainian military, there were no immediate reports of casualties or major destruction. All drones were intercepted before hitting their targets. Reuters witness in Kyiv heard blasts resembling the sound of air defense systems intercepting aerial objects. It was not immediately known how many of Iranian Shahid drones Russia launched and how many were intercepted. Air alerts were issued for more than 2 hours over Kyiv and across Ukraine, and fighting continued as NATO leaders gathered for a summit, which the Kremlin criticized, warning that Moscow would respond to protect its own security.
The U.S. Justice Department has said that Donald Trump can be held personally liable for his comments on a woman who accused him of rape in a reversal of its position that Trump was protected because he was president when he made the remarks.
In a letter on Tuesday, the department said Trump was not acting in his capacity as president when he spoke out against E. Jean Carroll's claims that he had defamed and raped her. The department said, quote, "There is no longer a sufficient basis to conclude that the former president was motivated by more than an insignificant desire to serve the United States government," end quote. The letter was filed with the federal district court judge presiding over 2020 defamation lawsuit brought by Carroll in Manhattan.
And that's a wrap up your lunchtime news. For the News First team, I've been Rochelle Thamodar. For more on these stories and for more of the very latest, log on to www.newsfirst.lk. Thank you and have a nice day.